Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will decide whether you rule your mind or become ruled by it. Self-awareness is not some gentle self-care ritual. It is war. It is the conquest of the most dangerous territory you will ever face, yourself. The man who does not master his inner terrain is not free. He is a puppet, dangling on the strings of his hidden fears, his unspoken insecurities, his unexamined desires. Machiavelli warned, a prince who does not know himself will be ruined by those who know him better. Understand this. If you cannot pierce your own illusions, others will. And they will use that blindness to control you, to manipulate you, to break you. So the choice is simple. Dominate yourself or be dominated. Steal yourself. Because the war begins not out there, but in here.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Law 1. Face the executioner in the glass. The most dangerous lie you will ever tell is the one you whisper to yourself. Every day you construct masks. At work, you wear competence. Online, you wear happiness. With friends, you wear confidence. With family, you wear patience. But masks do not protect you. They are not shields. They are chains. Every mask you put on tightens the lock around your real face until you forget what lies beneath it. Ask yourself, when the mask slips, who is underneath? Think about your daily rituals. You wake up, already reaching for your phone, desperate to see if someone out there validates your existence. You walk into meetings, pretending you're engaged while your mind quietly calculates escape routes. You scroll endlessly, not because you care about what you see, but because the silence terrifies you. Why? Because silence brings you closer to the one person you can't lie to, yourself. You hide from the mirror because you know what you will find. The reflection does not clap. It does not admire your curated image. It does not believe your excuses. It strips you bare, and that frightens you more than the judgment of any stranger. But hear this. Every time you avoid that confrontation, you weaken yourself. Every time you look away, you hand over power. You let fear run your state, and a ruler who does not know his own state is doomed. Machiavelli warned that the disease must be recognized in the beginning, which is easy to cure but difficult to detect. Ignore the cracks in your walls, and they become your downfall. A kingdom rarely falls because of a single great invasion. It collapses because termites were eating its foundations long before anyone noticed. You are that kingdom. Your reflection is your territory, your ego, your insecurities, your hidden weaknesses. These are your termites. Left unchecked, they will consume you from within. And make no mistake, the world will exploit them before you admit they exist. So here is your law. Stand before a mirror. No filters, no distractions. Lock eyes with yourself. Ask aloud, who am I when no one is watching? Do not flinch. Do not blink. Do not look away. Stay there until the first mask falls. Stay longer until the second falls. Stay until there is nothing left but the truth. The one you've been avoiding. The one you've been drowning in noise. The one you secretly know is waiting for you. And when it arrives, do not look away. Numb it. Own it. Claim it as yours. Because denial is weakness, but recognition is power. Ask yourself, am I disciplined, or do I decorate laziness with excuses? Am I loyal, or do I betray when it's convenient? Am I strong, or do I only perform strength to avoid being challenged? Do I seek truth, or do I only seek comfort? The questions cut because they must. The enemy already sharpening his knife is not out there. He is the version of you that refuses to be honest. Face him now, or be executed by him later. He who dares to confront his reflection owns his reality. He who avoids it remains its slave. Law 2. Write your sins in ink. Awareness does not come from basking in the light of your strengths. It comes from walking through the darkness of your flaws. But most people avoid that darkness. They prefer journals filled with pretty lies, lists of goals, achievements, and affirmations, pages designed not to reveal the truth, but to protect them from it. You write, "Today I will be disciplined. Today I will stay positive. Today I will crush my goals." But where is the line that admits, "Today I hated my friend's success. Today I felt weak. Today I wanted to lie, cheat, or quit"? Where's that truth? Be honest. When was the last time you recorded your jealousy on paper? When was the last time you admitted your insecurity in writing? When did you last confess your secret rage, your quiet lust, your hunger for control? You don't, because it terrifies you. You bury it. And what you bury grows teeth in the dark. Look at your daily life. Think of how often your shadow already rules you. You scroll social media and feel bitterness at someone else's life. Then you smile as if you're unaffected. You explode at someone close to you, then excuse it as stress. You see someone disciplined, and instead of admiration, you feel resentment. You hear praise for a colleague, and you burn, not with inspiration, but with envy. And still you tell yourself, "I'm fine." But you're not fine. You are blind, and blindness is weakness. Machiavelli warned, "A prince who does not recognize the enemies within his state will be undone by them." Understand this. Your inner vices are conspirators. They are like traitors inside your castle walls. You may not see them, but they are plotting. The enemy at the gate is never as dangerous as the traitor inside. Your envy will sabotage your loyalty. Your insecurity will sabotage your confidence. Your rage will sabotage your strategy. And the worst part, they will strike at the exact moment you need strength the most. That is how men are undone, not by foreign armies, but by their shadows. So you must expose them, drag them into the open. That is the function of shadow journaling. Here is your law. Take a journal and strip it of decoration. No goals, no victories, no empty affirmations. Instead, confess the things you've buried. Write the thoughts you don't want anyone to read. Admit your envy when others rise. Admit your hatred when you're overlooked. Admit the insecurity that eats you alive when you compare yourself. Admit the bitterness, the lust, the greed, the pettiness. Write them daily, because repetition kills secrecy, and secrecy is the lifeblood of your shadows. Once you name them, they lose their ability to strike unseen. Ask yourself, what weakness do I hide from the world? What urge owns me when I am tired, angry, or alone? Who do I secretly envy, and why? What part of me do I condemn in others, but quietly nurture in myself? If my darkest thoughts were exposed, would I still respect myself? Do not soften the answers. Do not disguise them in polite words. Bleed them onto the page with brutal honesty. Because the man who buries his flaws becomes their prisoner. But the man who names his shadows, who looks his vices in the eye, becomes their master. Remember this: what you expose cannot conspire. What you bury will one day rule you. Law 3. Drown in silence to hear the truth. Noise is not neutral. It is a weapon, engineered to keep you from yourself. Every second of your day is an invasion. The news shouts its panic. Social media sells you envy dressed as inspiration. Music fills the air so you never sit in quiet. Even in bed, you cannot sleep without distraction. You scroll, you stream, you flood your mind until exhaustion finally drags you under. And yet, ask yourself, When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No voices, no screens, no sound. Just you and you. For most, the answer is never. And that is the problem. You're terrified of silence because silence unmasks you. It strips away the distraction and reveals the voice you've been drowning out, your own. In silence, you hear the doubt you've been hiding from, the guilt you've never faced, the desires you bury, the fears that steer your choices more than logic ever has. You scroll, you talk, you surround yourself with noise to avoid this confrontation. But hear me, a man who cannot sit with his own thoughts is not free. He is a hostage to distraction, a hostage to the chaos inside. Machiavelli praised rulers who withdrew into solitude to sharpen their judgment. He wrote, "A prince who arms himself with knowledge in times of peace is feared in times of war." Understand this. Silence is not weakness. It is war preparation. The general who studies maps before the battle wins before the first arrow flies. The ruler who uses solitude to confront his own mind cannot be ambushed by it. Your silence is your armory. One full day without noise is not retreat. It is reconnaissance. The first hours will feel unbearable. Your mind will scream for distraction. You will reach for your phone as if it were air. You will feel restless, cornered, exposed. That is your enemy fighting back. But stay longer. Do not yield. As the hours stretch, the chaos begins to reveal its patterns. The same doubts will circle back. The same fears will echo. The same excuses will play on repeat. And then it will hit you. These are not random thoughts. These are the scripts that have been running your life. You did not choose them. They chose you. Now for the first time, you will see them clearly. They are the enemy generals of your inner war. So here is your law. Choose one day. No speech, no phone, no screens, no music, no distractions. Immerse yourself in silence until it hurts. Let the storm rage inside you. Endure it. Because beyond the storm lies clarity. At the end of that day, write what surfaced. Write the loops that repeated. Write the fears that screamed loudest. Write the desires that clawed at you when no one was watching. Do not judge them. Do not sugarcoat them. Just write. Because what you write, you can face. What you face, you can fight. Ask yourself, what thought repeated itself so many times it revealed its grip on me? What fear tried to dominate me when I had no noise to drown it? What hidden desire rose when no one was there to judge me? What excuse did I whisper to myself when silence stripped away every distraction? These are your enemy maps. Ignore them, and you will be ambushed again and again. Recognize them, and you can finally prepare your strategy. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is the forge where rulers sharpen their blades, where empires are mapped, where enemies are exposed before the first strike. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not retreat. Silence is strategy. In stillness, you learn the architecture of your own mind, and the man who knows that terrain cannot be conquered. Law 4. Step outside yourself and watch the puppet move. You think you know yourself, but self-reflection is treacherous. When you say, "Eh?" the ego speaks. The ego excuses, justifies, defends. It bends reality to preserve comfort. And so your self-reflection becomes flattery disguised as honesty. To see the truth, you must exile the I. You must step outside yourself and observe as if you were a stranger, a cold, detached witness watching a subject under glass. Imagine this. Instead of saying, "I get nervous in meetings," you write, "He avoids eye contact and fills the silence with jokes when threatened." Instead of, "I care too much what others think," you write, "She constantly scans the room, adjusting her words to win approval." Do you feel the difference? The shift is brutal. The excuses vanish. The observer does not care about your feelings. The observer does not justify. The observer reports. Look at your daily life. In a meeting, an outsider would see you tapping your foot, rushing your words, desperate to fill the air. In an argument, an outsider would see you smile to avoid conflict, retreating behind charm instead of standing your ground. With friends, an outsider would see how often you exaggerate, how often you polish your image, not to connect, but to impress. What you call quirks or habits are patterns of weakness, and patterns can be exploited. Machiavelli knew this well. He warned that a ruler must not only understand himself, but also how others perceive him. A prince who does not recognize how he appears to others, he implied, is more vulnerable than he realizes. Enemies do not see the excuses you tell yourself. They see your behaviors. They see your tells. They see the gap between who you think you are and what you really display. And make no mistake, your enemies already know you better than you know yourself. They know when your confidence is real and when it's an act. They know the words you use to stall, the tone you take when afraid, the look in your eye when you're lying. If you cannot study yourself with their cold detachment, you will always be at their mercy. So here is your law. Train the observer's eye. Each night, write about yourself in the third person. Not, I was tired, I made excuses. Write, he complained about being tired and used it to avoid responsibility. Not, I struggled with focus. Write, she scrolled her phone for an hour to avoid work. Make it ruthless. Write as if you are a spy delivering a report to your enemy. Describe your gestures, your tone, your patterns. Strip away emotion, record only behavior, and then interrogate those reports. If I were my enemy, what would I see? What weakness would I exploit? Where did I reveal my insecurity without realizing it? What lie did I live today, thinking no one noticed? The truth is, everyone notices. Your colleagues notice. Your rivals notice. Strangers notice. You are the only one blind to your performance. The observer's eye removes that blindness. Detach. Step outside yourself. Study your movements as if you are not the actor, but the critic. Because only then will you see the invisible strings, the ones that others already see pulling you. The man who trains the observer's eye can never be blindsided. The man who refuses will always play the fool in someone else's game. The path to unbreakable self-awareness is not gentle. It is ruthless. It demands you confront the executioner in the mirror, expose the conspirators within your own heart, and weaponize silence until it bends to your will. Most people will never attempt this. They will cling to their illusions, polish their masks, and drown themselves in noise. They will choose blindness because blindness feels safer than truth. And in that blindness, they will remain weak, forever ruled, forever deceived. But you are not most people. You have seen the battlefield clearly. Your reflection is your fortress. Your shadows are your traitors. Your silence is your armory. Together, they form the iron discipline of a ruler who cannot be overthrown. Machiavelli's wisdom was merciless. Victory belongs not to the blind optimist, but to the man who sees every flaw, every weakness, every enemy, starting with himself. So remember this law. He who knows himself cannot be deceived, and he who cannot be deceived cannot be defeated.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.